Hi, I decided to do my movie analysis on Home Again. It's about Alice Kinney. She recently moved back to Los Angeles, living in her father's house, who is John Kinney, a film producer, a pretty big guy in this whole scene, and she's also the daughter of Lily Kinney, who was the star in a lot of his films when they were married. She moved back to Los Angeles from New York because she separated from her husband. They had two kids together, and he's not super big in their life and doesn't really play a major role in the movie other than just kind of being distant, unreliable, a big partier. There's also three guys in the movie as well: Harry, George, and Teddy. They're all trying to make it in this film world. And Teddy's going to be the actor, George is the writer, and Harry is the director of everything. So they're kind of going through a financial turmoil. They don't have enough money to stay in Los Angeles anymore and got kicked out of their motel room. And then they just go out to the bar at night, and that happens to be the night that it's Alice's birthday. So her mom, Lily, takes the kids, and Alice goes out and parties on the town and meets Harry. They start flirting together, and Harry introduces them to his other brothers, and they all just start partying together. They go back to her house after the bars close. Harry and her try and hook up, but he's too drunk, so it doesn't work out. And everybody just crashes at her house, which works out great because they don't have a place to stay anyway. Then Lily comes over because one of her daughters, Alice's daughters, forgot something and saw all these guys here, and they recognize her from these movies and start talking to her about John and how everything kind of like evolved from there. And then Lily's like, oh, I want to stay and talk to these guys. Take your kids to school. And so Alice took her kids to school. And then when she got back home, they were still talking. And Lily found out that these struggling artists were having financial issues and didn't have a place to live anymore. So she was suggesting that they live in Alice's guest house. And Alice eventually agrees to this. Harry and Alice's relationship evolves beyond just the physical realm. They start getting emotionally involved, start talking more, and just kind of goes from there. I think that one of the major tipping points of this is right when their relationship, Alice is feeling really secure about it and wants to introduce him to her friends. He says, like, yes, I'll go to dinner with you guys. I just have to do a producer meeting so I can get funding for my movie, but I'll come after I'm done with this. And Alice goes to there alone, expecting for him to, like, come meet up, and he gets held up, and the guy keeps trying to buy him drinks, and he keeps accepting because he's trying to get money for this film to be developed. And he ends up just texting her saying, sorry, like, I can't make it. They just keep buying me drinks. And then Alice gets a little sad and let down and kind of realizes that this isn't the relationship that she wants to be in. She wants something more dependable. And when she gets back home and he comes in to apologize to her for bailing, she pretty much just tells him this. For the psychologist analysis of this, I think that it's really important that Alice understands she left her husband because he was partying and unreliable and unable to provide what the security that she wanted for her family. And when she moved out here, she was trying to escape that, but fell into the same patterns again, which is super easy for us to do. I think that we stick with what we know and what's comfortable, but in reality, that isn't always what's the best for us and what we need on an emotional level. So I think she needs to sit down and really focus, like, okay, this was a rebound, it's what's comfortable. Now I need to recognize that I need somebody who's going to be dependable because I have two kids, and I need to get somebody who's going to be able to be there for me. And I think that Harry needs to recognize that maybe being a 27-year-old going after a 40-year-old with two kids and he's in the midst of developing this career isn't necessarily going to be the best option because they're looking for two different things. she's looking for emotional security, and he's like, oh, she's kind of attractive and we have fun together, but isn't able to be there dependable because he's dealing with his own stuff right now. So if he ever wants to be in a relationship, he needs to recognize that he can't just bail because it's convenient. He needs to know that, like, okay, this might take a little bit longer than an hour, and I'm not going to be able to make it to this dinner that she wants me to go on to. And he needs to communicate that versus just wanting to please and agreeing to things. And if you're going to bail, like, something comes up, I think in a relationship, stuff like that happens, but he needs to be more communicating. Like, he needs to call her and tell her that, hey, this is what's going on. I can't make it. I'm sorry. Even though that wouldn't have made a difference for her because she's looking for more dependability, at least that would have shown that he's thinking of her versus, oh, it's not going to be a big deal. I'll just go home and apologize. And she's just a second thought. So, yeah.